Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of Supergirl, season one, episode 15, Solitude. This episode featured the introduction of, which I totally geeked out on, of Laura Vandervoort, who plays Supergirl on Smallville as Indigo, as Indigo, also known as Brainiac 8, who who was like a who's originally a villain of the Teen Titans, and I think also Legion of Superheroes, but and it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool that I didn't know that. I think it was kind of a cool Easter egg in and of itself, and the reference to it. Although the thing I don't understand is why she didn't look like that instead of Mystique from X-Men with the Brainiac symbol on her face. I mean, I don't know how hard it was to like get the paint job right and just dye her and just get like a pink wig or something. Blows my mind. I just feel like it's trying to pander to like the general audience or something. But anyway, she played a fun bad guy. And you can tell she enjoyed chewing this, just being a bad guy. And she essentially, it first starts off with like she was like hacked on like an Ashley Madison like website, and basically it just talks about how Kakra didn't want to publish it because she didn't want to like come under fire from because she's been unfaithful or slept with she's been unfaithful as well. But it turned, and it kind of just, I mean, it doesn't really go anywhere other than it provides like a backstory for Savant Smythe, who's gonna play Silver Banshee, Natalia Ricci, in which she caught her dad cheating on her mom with her assistant, and saying that it wouldn't happen again, and basically, and just how she felt like she was let down. She ended up revealing that to what's his name, Win Scott. And it also leads to like another encounter. It also leads to like another encounter by the elevator where all of a sudden they start to like make out, and she says, "You tell anybody about this, I'll kill you." After Win keeps telling her it's okay to like open up and let people like care about you and rely on others, which I think it could be kind of like a fun subplot, but I kind of wish there was like more build up to that kind of there was more build up to the sexual attention and attraction. Just kind of like came out of left field. Basically Indigo's master plan was to hack into the. Basically, she was just using it to like get access to the general who runs like the nuclear silo outside of National City, and was planning on destroying it, which as well as like getting nuclear launch codes to basically start a nuclear holocaust. And it also finds out that Indigo had history with Non the Kryptonian. She was actually responsible for. She actually attempted to. She actually helped run the traffic and computer systems and whatnot on Krypton, kind of like how Brainiac did the same thing on Superman the Animated Series and Smallville, and it was like I think it was trying to have a nice parallels with that. And she was imprisoned in the Phantom Zone and on Fort Ross, and was considered like one of their worst prisoners. So it actually revealed in a flashback that she actually linked up with Kara's ship, like hacked into Kara's ship, and linked it up with the Fort Ross with Fort Ross, and she even explains to Kara that she's the reason why she got out of the Phantom Zone and why all the Fort Ross prisoners are basically on Earth. And And like I said, she was a good villain. I guess the only thing that was kind of anticlimactic is that she's basically defeated in the same way the aliens from the Independence Day are defeated, where Win Scott, who was recruited earlier by the DOE, just uploaded some like malware into her system, and she seems like she dissipated. And but it turns out that because Banan ends up like being able to like salvage her, and it turns out that they were in like a romantic relationship at one point because, and she only came out of, and not even calls her out on it, saying that she only came out of hiding because Astra was dead. And some other stuff that would happen was, Kara just wanting to not work with the DOE because she still thought John Jones' killed Astra, so she ends up working mostly with James Olsen, but the thing is that she doesn't have any access to information on Indigo, so and she refuses to go to the DEO. So James Olsen decides to take her to the Fortress of Solitude, where we get to see. It looks very much like other versions of the Fortress of Solitude from the Superman movies in Smallville. The thing I also noticed as well was the fact that it had the Legion. You also showed like the Legion ring on display, and it was like the exact same Legion ring they showed in the imagery from when Barry Allen was traveling from Earth 1 to Earth 2 on the Flash. And it also showed, Kal-El's ship, as well as the robot. Kal-X acting as an assistant and telling Kara and James about Indigo. And she's able to stop, but because of the fact that before she successfully launches the nuclear missile, Indigo, Kara tries to stop it by like tossing it off course, but then she has to swallow her pride and communicate with the DEO and John Jones about disarming it by putting in a computer code to cause it to crash harmlessly into the ocean outside of National City before nearly destroying it. And she realizes that she wants to put she comes to talk to Martian Manhunter about saying she wants to put her personal feelings aside and realizing they have to work together in order to avert a catastrophe like this, and then it becomes this like really heartwarming moment where Alex finally breaks down crying and admits that she was the one that killed Astra, and explaining the circumstances of it. And what was surprising that you first think it looks like Kara's about to like storm out, but then she decides to hug her sister. She decides to hug her sister and forgives her for what she did, and takes John Jones's hand, simultaneously acknowledging that she forgives him for lying as well, which I thought was like very heartwarming and subverted my expectations. I'm not trying to drag out the drama of being mad at both of them, and I guess some other stuff that happened in the episode was Lucy still being mad about how James is still working with Supergirl, and even to the point where, because he went to the Fortress of Solitude with Kara, that he forgot about a dinner date with Lucy. And Kara tries to intervene by saying that that James is this really nice guy, and the thing is he tells them a story about her, and Kara mentions the story about James's father gave him a camera and how he becomes like so committed to a cause and wanting to help people that it's harder for him to divert his attention, and it unintentionally causes a rift in their relationship. And because Lucy realizes that through their on and off again relationship, James has never talked about his father with her, but he talked to Kara about it, and she decides that, if she was willing, Lucy realizes that if James is willing to confide in Kara about something like that, there's no sense pursuing a relationship. She realizes that James is in love with Kara, and Kara feels the same way. And but overall, I think it was like a pretty good episode. It still feels like, I still hope, like, based on the ending, that she becomes a that she becomes a recurring villain on this show, because quite frankly, most of the villains on this show suck. And Non especially. He's just bland as hell. Don't really care much for him. And she's the only one who... And Indigo is not somebody who wouldn't be out of place in terms of, like, being theatrical and, kind of hammy villain outside of... It wouldn't be out of place necessarily on a show like The Flash, but it's like the other villains here that, like I said, like, most of them are like very bland and forgettable. She can actually, break the mold, manage to be able to break the mold, and like I said, I just hope I see more of her. So overall, I think it was a pretty good episode. I say like a 7.5 out of 10. So what do you guys think of the episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.